Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Aquarian Pearls, Pearls of Wisdom. We're now in November of 2021, and we're having part two with fabulous Justin Hunter, who's in Fiji right now. We got cut off by internet problems before, so we're going to carry on as before. So I've first of all got to welcome you to Pearls of Wisdom, Justin.
Thank you.
So good to have you. And what's been going on in Fiji in the last 6 to 8 months since we did our first interview?
I think last time I was on here, we were going to carry on the conversation within a week or so and finish up that interview, and I think that was about 7 months ago, David. And since then we've had a community-based outbreak here in Fiji, and I've been stuck on my island. When I talked to you before, I was on the main island. I was very fortunate that I was able to get my family and me back here back to the farm and a separate island. And so we're now moving through COVID, and Fiji's about to open up as well, and so is our neighbor Australia. And I think as a pearl producer, it's a huge relief because, you know, we're a vertically integrated family company here in Fiji. We've got hatcheries, we've got farms, we've got wholesale, we've got retail. And I'll tell you what, when you stop getting close to 750,000 tourists a year and they just all disappear, that's a lot of income that just disappears, you know, from us. And, you know, we're completely unprepared. But, you know, looking back on this, all of these things are such an interesting part of our life, as many sleepless nights as I think we've all had over the last 2 years. I think we're going to come out of this stronger and more appreciative of this incredible opportunity we've had. I mean, I just had 7 months with my 2 boys at home who were in Suva going to school, and, you know, I'll never get that back. And I'd never have that opportunity, I don't think, again normally. And so I'm very blessed to have done that. And as far as work and business, yeah, it's a bit down, but, you know, you can only go up. You know, stay positive, do the right thing, and I'm ready for the next part of this adventure we call life.
Fantastic, Justin. And have you had any problems with technicians, or did you have enough for the farm? Like everybody seems to have been having terrible trouble getting, like Tahiti itself have not had the technicians come back from Chinese New Year 2020 even.
Yeah, same thing. Our Japanese technicians left March 2020. We thought at that time it would be 2-3 months before they'd get back. It was 1 year and 3 months to the day from when they left to before we could get them back. So now we are implanting again. You know, and now we're taking a look at how we implant. You know, this has changed things so much when you've had such a long pause. Our businesses don't stop because our oysters are alive. We've got to keep things alive and healthy, and that means for the last year and a half we haven't been making pearls per se. We've been maintaining oysters with pearls and getting a lot of baby oysters ready to make pearls. You know, I think right now we just need to breathe as an industry and as farmers. You know, I think we can all look out there and we know there's quite a good demand for pearls right now because, as you said, Tahiti's been slow with production, and I've slowed down. Everybody has. We just got to all take it cool and breathe a little bit and think long term. And hopefully our industry has learned a lesson from this, which is, you know, let's be responsible and talk about, you know, production in a way. We've had a whole year and a half, almost 2 years of looking at our industry and having a lot of thoughts about what we do. And I'm excited because I think there's going to be more appreciation for what we do. Hopefully we'll get the message out there to consumers and why pearls are so special. And because, you know, normally we have about 50 people working, and you know, we're from a very small community in this town and bay here in Savu Savu, Fiji, where it's maybe 3,000 people. You know, 50 of them to work on this pearl farm. That's quite a significant amount. And it's a big sense of jobs. And a lot of these people, we've had to let people go over the last year, a lot of reduced time, reduced hours as we've had to, you know, look at the the shortfall in income and hours and sales. And, you know, it's interesting. It's something I think we're going to appreciate. And I think people who work for us and with us, we're all going to be a lot more appreciative of what we've done before, what we've had, than we were before this.
So true. To put it into time context too, the Atlanta Braves just won the World Series, and Jock Peterson, one of the pitchers,
Yes.
wore a pearl necklace. Whereas apparently in Atlanta they're selling out of these pearl necklaces, and we're doing our TV show there next week, which is
right.
funny. We're going to have some Jock Peterson, but also the environmental conference has just closed in Glasgow, Scotland, and I wanted to talk to you specifically about the blue ocean and the environment. And because as pearl farmers, when we talk about the environment, the number one fear is the rising temperature of the oceans. And I know you're very heavily involved in this whole environmental aspect to being a responsible farmer with sustainability and care for the ecology. And could you let us know your thoughts and feelings and your work around that, and what, if you, for the uninitiated, what the whole blue ocean thing is, please?
Yeah, and you know, that's interesting too, because I was just on a phone calls or WhatsApp messages with the Prime Minister of Fiji, the Attorney General of Fiji, and a group out of and some architects and design people and city planning people that are at this conference. Because to give a bit of background, we're in the process of creating what we say is the world's first blue town. And a blue town is based on what's often referred to as the blue economy, which is creating sustainable economic opportunities based on conservation for developing island and coastal communities. And I've worked with other pearl farmers in Australia and from the Philippines on what's known as the Blue Pledge, and we did that several years ago. It's because of the difficulties with COVID and things, we've kind of dropped it. But again, that's where we're talking about how pearls are really the perfect example of what would be termed as a blue economy, or a sustainable circular blue economy, where our livelihoods as farmers and pearl producers and pearl distributors and retail sailors, our livelihoods are intrinsically tied to a healthy ocean. And in Savu Savu here, we want to create the world's first blue town, and that's why our PM and everybody's meeting these fosters and partners out of London, because we're looking at concepts on how we can integrate conservation and economic opportunities. And we believe that our community will benefit by basing our lifestyles on a conservation group. And this started with conservation. This started with pearls, because as a pearl farmer, as I see a town grow around me and communities expand and more human waste and population grows, the choice was, in maybe 10 years, or as my sons grow, they might have to look at moving this pearl farm away from the population. Not because of theft or plunder, because we've never had that issue, but simply because of man-made issues with sewage, let's talk about it, or rubbish dumps, or construction that's not done properly. And so the blue town and Pearl's role in developing a blue town is, I'm not moving anywhere. My farm is not going to go away just because our population is growing. In fact, this pearl farmer is so pig-headed that I'm going to make sure this town grows in a responsible way, where we look after the environment, that my oysters, you know, oysters are super sensitive to any change in water quality or in environmental aspects that happen to the water. The first thing that'll die is, unfortunately, our oysters. I'm not about to move my oysters anywhere. I'm going to change the mindset of these towns and coastal communities and our particular town, and show that it is viable for us to grow our population in a healthy, respectful way of our environment. And the pearls are the perfect indicator for that. So it's And as a pearl producer, I think I'd be lying if I didn't see the marketing aspect of what pearls can do and what it can do for all farmers, I think, around the world. I think I'm taking a stand for myself, but also for the industry and for all pearl farmers. Because if we can do this and create the world's first blue town, and we get a lot of press and we get a lot of people involved and want to highlight this incredible story, it's going to come back to pearls. What are people going to say? And if I can do that, I'd be very proud. And I think it would be a great way to get the message across of what pearls can do and people, when we choose to do things the right way.
That's really fantastic, Justin. And we'll support you every way we can.
Yeah, and I'm very lucky. Our industry, as Peter Brochard once told me, we're fiercely competitive. But I think as pearl producers and some of you guys, the distributors like you, we all have a vested love and interest in the sea and what we do. And I love working with people like you and everybody we work with. We try to be on that same level where we want to tell the story, this incredible relationship that pearls are symbolic of between man and nature. And so it's been a fun experience. And not only is it good marketing, I believe, and a good lesson, it needs to be out there. And I appreciate all the support that you give us, David.
Fantastic. Justin, can I ask you our final question of the interview,
Yeah.
which is for young people, like you've got sons, but young people contemplating coming into, sometimes I'd say the jewelry business, but in your case, I'd say in the pearl business. What advice would you give? Would you welcome people in and say, come on in?
Yeah, definitely. Our industry is dying for new ideas, fresh perspectives. Come in, feel strongly in what you believe. Come in for the right reason. That you love the product, you love what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with making money. Don't think there isn't. That's what we all need that, and that is a measurement of contributing to conservation is when you can show that economic returns are valuable, then conservation, you get a buy-in there. So do that. Do not think, I would say to my boys all the time, I say, don't think because somebody isn't doing it that you can't do it. Go for it. It's all right to fail, to learn, to have new ideas and to push the envelope every day, but let it come from a place of passion and doing the right thing. And I think if you do that, you'll be well looked up. And I think, speaking from all of us in the pearl industry, we love seeing young people. I know I was a young person once that came in, and I think you probably raised a lot of eyebrows with the type of pearls we produced, and then this very strong belief and message in sustainability and what I believe pearls represented. And somebody's got to come along, and there's going to be more people like us. We want that. Passion's a beautiful thing. Follow your heart, go for it, and the rest will fall into place.
That's fantastic advice. I'm a great adherent of that. Follow your bliss, yeah. As Joseph Campbell said. Well, Justin, it's been a great privilege talking to you twice, and I love your enthusiasm and your love of the oceans and your absolute care and respect for nature. And could I, on behalf of everybody here at Aquarian Pearls of Wisdom, thank you so much.
Thank you. And I really look forward. I think it's been about almost 3 years since we've seen each other in person. I look forward to catching up, and just like what we do, I also really appreciate these relationships and the quick, brief catch-ups we have. And so I look forward to catching up with you guys again too.
Big hug. Me too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
No problem.
Thank you.